Hey everyone, Brandon here. So it's actually been 2 weeks since my last recorded video, so some of the details of last week is kind of prior is kind of fuzzy in my mind, but I've kind of written down the main points here, and so hopefully I'll cover them. So this is actually I'm recording this tonight, and then I'm putting it up tonight. So that's good for you guys. You're up to date, and then I'll try and keep doing this. I've seemed to be consistent enough in my planning that I think I can make every Thursday night just come home from practice and record one of these. Last week I had a race though, which I'll get to later, and that's kind of why I was a little more focused and didn't end up making one. So to go back, not this Saturday, but the Saturday prior, which would be just after the last video, maybe I talked about it in that video, is the brown and gold meet that the university held. It was just a kind of university team meet, and yeah, I went to watch that. I didn't compete because I was still kind of on the edge about my foot and wanted to make sure I wasn't pushing it too early, too soon. Excuse me. And it was pretty amazing. I was pretty pumped about like the school spirit. I had never seen something like that in Canada before. I've seen it plenty in the States, so that was awesome to see. And just music blasting while there's races, and it's kind of this fun event they put on to get the other teammates, because not everyone trains together, just to know each other, and so everyone does kind of every event. They might not try hard at every event, but they do it for points, and then they split up the team into two teams, and whoever gets the most points win. But there was an 8 that was run, and that in particular got me super pumped, and I was just like driving home. I should not have been driving because I was so shaky with adrenaline and so pumped to see it go down, and I think that really got me focused, because what I was doing was a 600 the next Saturday, and so I really kind of put me into overdrive for motivation, and I had a really good week, and I think every single night I made sure I was getting like at least sleeping time, not just go to bed time, between 8, at least 8, probably closer to 10 hours every single night leading up to the race on Saturday. So that was awesome. I made sure my food was good, my stretching was good, nice consistent form in the workouts, and yeah, I mean, it's the first time I had trained a whole week and then raced, and that it went swell. Friday, the night before a race, I guess something I'd never done either is they had I guess they had told me what I should do, and that was just basically do a warm-up, do a kind of lap at race pace to just get the feel of it, and then call it quits. So I did that, and that went really well. So getting to Friday night then, they had a 1500 that, again, it got me just super pumped, and so went home, woke up in the morning, got to the track super early, watched all the races before my race, and warmed up. It went really well. One problem I had last year was keeping track of how, when my race is starting, because sometimes I get ahead or sometimes I get behind, and if you don't warm up properly, you can get caught off guard, and so I was able to keep track, and they're actually 10 minutes early this time, but I was kind of on par with that as soon as I walked in, that they were running 10 minutes ahead, and so I was able to plan accordingly. The race went really well. I was going for under a minute 30 for the 600, which I did, and I'm really happy about that. So I'll have a new goal next time, but more importantly, I felt good throughout the whole race. I feel like I could easily have done that again. And the only qualm I have, and maybe it's something that it's just a drawback, or maybe your muscles are just hurting because they're exerting so much effort, but it's just the pain that I suffered afterwards, and it could be just because it was my first race in a while, or whatever. My body's not used to pushing as hard, so yeah, if that could go away, then it would be great. But you know what, if that's all I got to deal with is that 5 minutes of pain and suffering, wanting to feel like I'm puking and coughing up a lung, then I can deal with that too. It just means I push really hard, right? So one thing that was brought up to me by many of my teammates have helped me out with tons of tips, and I love them for it, and it's really helping me excel since I've been here. There's one teamer in particular that told me something like really super useful, and like I've kind of bit on this hard, and I'm trying to do it every practice, is for practice, like obviously you have maybe times you got to run, or an effort you're supposed to give, but have a goal in mind for each practice, specifically, so whether you want to try and stay consistent throughout all your runs, or if you want to try and run one lap hard, if it's say a 400 meters, run one lap hard, and then the second lap not as hard, and then get a consistent time that way, or run one lap not as hard, and then the second lap super hard, to catch up to make that consistent time. So I've kind of really taken that to heart, and for this past week at least, I've been going for consistent running while running with very good form, which I feel like you should always be doing, but I've been really paying attention not to get adrenaline or anything like that to get the best of me, and just running as fast as I can, while being consistent and keeping a good stride, as opposed to just breaking into a sprint. So I really thank him for that, and that'll help me grow, I'm sure. Also, something new, maybe I got a haircut. Nope. So I've been trying this out now, and it's very useful for when I'm shaving. I don't really like how it looks, but it's very practical, and I'm all about practicality, if anyone knows me out there. And so yeah, when shaving, it keeps all the hair, because usually I have to hold the hair over here, so that works. But also I've noticed, and someone else brought it up to me too, it was a girl, that when you're training and you're sweating, when you have all this hair here, it's really hard for you to get the wind blowing on your neck and to cool you down. But with my hair like this, and I call it double ponytail, I'm not really sure what it's called, because you do a ponytail and then you feed part of that ponytail back in, so double feed ponytail. I'm sure there's some technical term for it, but anyways, I find it's a lot cooler having that too, so I'm sure I'll get used to the look of doing it. I'm only doing it for training days, so whatever. Anyway, so moving on to, I guess, my foot's been great. It still has its days where it feels really sore, but as far as training goes, I haven't had to miss any training or cut back on any training, so that's really, really, really good. Today, I have to say, I had a huge win on the loss, neutral, and win rating system I do for each workout. I had a huge win of a workout tonight. On Thursdays in general, the coach has us all running as a group. Normally I run with only one other person, or two other people, but they've kind of been hurt or sick or injured or whatever, so I've kind of just been running on my own for a lot of the practices, which gets kind of frustrating, and mentally it's a lot of mental work that goes into that, and I find at least I can't push myself as hard. So today I got to go with everyone, because everyone combines into a group and you do the same workout, and felt really amazing, and just took away the mental game. So I did something that have never been able to do so far since I started training last May, and that was 300s, with rest in between, of course, but I did a 46, a 45, and then a 44, and one of my goals is to be able to do all 45s in a row, and I mean that's close enough, that's good enough for me. So I'm really excited to be able to do that in a training section. I think that was just because I had someone pulling me along. I didn't have to think mentally of pushing myself. I was just keeping up with someone while focusing on my form, and again, I wasn't sprinting or anything like that. I was just keeping good form, and so that I was really, really happy about that, and super thankful to my teammates, for just pushing me along like that. Really helps out a lot, guys. So starting Saturday, I'm not racing this weekend, but starting Saturday, there's a 10-day break that I have, which is very interesting, because I do not do well with breaks. I kind of go stir crazy, and when I don't have anything to do, I kind of get very self-destructive. So I'm going to try and make a plan. I should probably get on it since it's only 2 days away, but I'm going to try and make a plan so that every single day I have something to do. Now, the main part of the break is basically no impact, and then taking at least a couple extra days of rest. But the main thing is no impact, so no hard running, no jumping or anything like that. And then the back end of the break, I was told that you can do some jogs and and stuff like that. So that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll throw some swims in there and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm a bit scared about taking too much of a break, but we'll see how it goes with my planning. Yeah, and other than that, just want to say sorry to any of you guys that I've kind of been a bit slow emailing or returning emails to. It just kind of happens when I get all caught up in race and not real reality. I kind of just get very, very focused. So hopefully with this time that I have off, I'll be able to catch up on some of those social aspects of my life, and people won't be like, hey man, what's up? So anyways, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll definitely let you know how my rest week's going next Thursday. But yeah, take care everyone.